So Kevin, there was a big game on Sunday, but not just a big game, a great experience for, I imagine, those taking part in it as well as those the 4,500 that turned up to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a surreal experience for us. If you said to me 15 years ago when I started coaching in girls and women's football, I thought it was totally bizarre, to have that sort of situation where you're at home playing at Ibrox in front of 4,500 people. So it just shows you the journey that girls and women's football has went over the last years, and obviously internally from a club point of view, the journey that the women's team's going on at the moment is fantastic. So it was brilliant from the club to give us that opportunity to play there, and one that was grateful from the players and from all the staff, and obviously we topped it off with a good performance, which was also probably more important on the day as well.
In terms of the way that other clubs have also allowed their teams into the big arenas, it seems to be becoming almost a wee tradition. Is that something you hope to see maybe once or twice next season as well?
Yeah, absolutely. If we can manage to do that with the fixtures, I think it's a great opportunity. What it does do, it helps to showcase the women's game in obviously fantastic stadiums, none better than obviously Ibrox. So it's great occasions for people to come and watch that as well. I think the biggest challenge that we've all got, and you see that from down south as well, when they have those showcase games, is how do you then build on the attendances when they go and play at their normal grounds as well. So for us, we've had a good crowd at Auchenhowie throughout the season, but we also want to try to increase that as much as we possibly can. So I think that'll be the next stage in the process as well, is how do we then try to attract all these people that come out and watch on those showcase games, if we call it that, and how can we then transfer that into regular attendances for all women's teams in the league.
In terms of the game on Sunday, you had 4 different goal scorers, but I think what must have been quite gratifying was there were 4 different types of goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we've relied on that all season. I don't think we can, just rely on 1 or 2 individuals to go and score as goals. And I think you're absolutely right that the type of goals that we scored were all different and all had different qualities to them as well, which was equally pleasing. But I think we've shown that throughout this season, that we can go and score all types of goals and we can grind out results when we need to, and as well. And I think we did that. We showed a real bit of patience, I felt, on Sunday. I felt that we managed to keep the ball for large periods of time, and we were patient in terms of the opportunities that we could go and see. And when Sam obviously got that first goal, you could see that just gave us even more confidence and belief that obviously we managed to go and score goals in quick succession and win the match.
You're playing Motherwell at the weekend, and the first game was 5-0, second game was 1-0. One of the things I picked up from the Aberdeen coach, she said, we've experienced playing, the full-time teams, despite them being a part-time outfit. And she said, we've had to respond in terms of our training, but also in terms of our tactics. I've kind of noticed, I don't know whether it's, might get proved wrong with some of the scores coming up, but it just seems to me as though incredibly quickly within this season, the general level of the game has taken a step up. Is that something you guys have noticed?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that each year the seasons progress in women's football, the standard of coaching gets better, the level of professionalism gets better. So I think clubs like ourselves that have went fully professional, other clubs that are not in that position have to think outside the box and do other things. So I know, for example, at Motherwell, they'll train 3-4 sessions a week, but they'll also add morning sessions onto the programme as well for players to attend. So although we're full-time, the biggest benefit for us in full-time football is our preparation and our recovery time. But actually the amount of time on the pitch is probably equal to most teams in the league, to be honest with you, because most teams will train 4 or 5 sessions a week. As I say, there's clubs that do morning sessions as well before girls go into education or into their work. So I think you're absolutely right. I think because the quality and the levels are always rising, other clubs, and credit to them, are trying to find different ways to go and compete with the full-time teams, and they then become more innovative in the ways that they go and do that. So yeah, I think we've found that the league's very competitive, and that's obviously reflected in the game that we played with Motherwell last time out. You said it was 1-0, and it was a tight game. It was a tight game, so we expect another tough match come Sunday.
And just lastly for me, in terms of injuries and suspensions, are you looking to have a full squad this weekend, or you still get some long term problems.
Yeah, no, we've got some positive news on that front as well. Jane Ross has been back in training with the squad, which is looking great, and Chelsea as well has managed to complete all the training so far and is looking really strong as well. So hopefully we'll have those two all being well available for Sunday.
Kevin, in terms of this weekend, obviously Glasgow City don't have a game this weekend, so there's an opportunity for Rangers to further extend the lead at the top of the league. So in terms of the title race, is that important this weekend, or is the focus just on getting the result irrespective of whether City are playing or not?
Yeah, it's probably a byproduct. Obviously we want to win every game, that goes without saying, and if we win on Sunday, we know it'll be a tough match. If we win on Sunday, we've got 8 points clear, given that obviously Glasgow City are in the cup competition. So I think psychologically that's a really good cushion to have, and we've played then the game, we've got the points in the bag, and we know then Glasgow City have also got a midweek game up to obviously go and catch up from the game that they're missing. So yeah, I think first and foremost at this stage of the season it's about getting 3 points and hopefully putting in a good performance, but I think obviously looking at that league table, hopefully come 6 o'clock on Sunday it'll look like we're 8 points clear, and that can hopefully then bode well for us going into the last couple of games of the season. But yeah, it's business as usual for us. We focus on the opposition, the next game, and make sure that we go and get the 3 points.
Okay. Obviously, it was announced yesterday that Lizzie Arnott has been shortlisted for the PFA Players Player of the Year. Is that a huge boost for the squad as a whole? Obviously, for Lizzie, it'll be a fantastic opportunity for her to potentially win that award. So individual accolades are obviously important, but in terms of the team as a whole, is that a huge boost to see one of the team being nominated for an award like that?
Absolutely. I think it shows the season that Lizzie's had. She's been very consistent in all the games that she's played. She's always chipped in with vital goals at vital moments or assists as well. So she's also played a massive part in our success. But I could equally go and mention another 5 or 6 players that I believe that could have also been shortlisted to that as well. But that's obviously when it comes to player votes, it's their opinions and what they see. Maybe when they play us as well, obviously we get the benefit of seeing the team day in and day out at training. So I think it's a good reflection on the season that not just Lizzie has had, but obviously our teammates have had as well. And I'm sure Lizzie will be the first one to say that you don't get nominated for those awards if people around about you and your team haven't performed at a good level too, which obviously they have.
Okay, and just going back on the title race, is the focus to get across the line as quickly as possible, or alternatively the target is just to get that title in the bag?
Yeah, I'm sure for a neutral they'd love it to go to the last game of the season, but we don't want to do that. No, we would also want to get it done. Every match, when you play for Rangers, every match we want to win the match. That goes without saying. So our full focus has been on Motherwell. We've prepared really well this week. We've had a good training week so far, and that will continue obviously up until Sunday. So if we can give ourselves the best possible chance is to win the game on Sunday, and then obviously we'll look after Glasgow City thereafter, and obviously it goes without saying we want to win that game too. But yeah, so Motherwell first, and we'll make sure that we apply everything that we can, all our energy to that. And but yeah, if we can get it wrapped up with a game to go, that's what we want to do. But it doesn't matter how we do it, as long as we find a way to do it.